Hey gang, I've been kind of toying around with saying Rayquesters, but I don't know if I like that nickname 100%. I think it's cool and epic sounding, but I don't know. Anyways, it's a double feature. Welcome to a drawing commentary of both Appy and Squidward's Suicide. Both creepypastas, part of CreepyPasta Mom. And before anyone asks, no, I do not actually alter my voice digitally. That is me. I can do it. It's cool. It's like burping. But yeah, I decided to combine the two commentaries together, mostly because, well, they're really short drawings, and I didn't want this footage to look too bad. Part of the footage looking great is that it's sped up so much, and honestly, Appy took me 36 minutes, and apparently, according to the footage, it took me 46 minutes to do Squidward's Suicide. And just kind of compressing that to 15 minutes, it would be really slow footage compared to what you're normally used to. And so I figured combining the two would be the best methods. Plus, I was kind of scared I wouldn't have enough to talk about between the two of them. I did listen to the listen to the creepypastas. I thought they were really cool. But, yeah, it's just like one of those things where I listen to them and I retain some of the information, especially the key points. And partially about Creepypasta Month is that, like, I do listen to the commentaries, but at the exact same time, I know that a lot of the drawings that I do are very generically creepypastas. It's stuff you've seen before, most likely. I try to add as much like little nods to it as possible, but most of the time it just kind of works out being, generic, because that's what the creepypasta is as a whole. So with Squidward's Suicide, the creepypasta was about a animator or intern, someone that just started working at Nickelodeon, and he comes across an episode of SpongeBob that I don't think aired or supposedly did air. I couldn't remember which. And essentially, the episode was just really weird, and Squidward had realistically drawn eyes, almost like real eyes, and he stared at the viewer. And at one point at the end of the short, he shoots himself with a shotgun in his mouth. It's interesting. I didn't really get the supernatural part of it. I think it was just like one of those weird, that's basically how creepypastas are. They usually have bloodshot eyes. It's usually a famous character looking at you, and then someone dies. Creepypasta. But yeah, with this one, I was trying to find something that wasn't just him staring at the view, because I know that can be kind of boring, especially with creepypastas, especially mine. Kind of have this recurring thing where it's the character just staring at you. Maybe that makes it more creepy. I don't know. But with this one, it worked because it was part of the story. It was supposed to be him directly looking at you. And so, yeah. Elizabeth Beals made a really good comment on the actual video. Beals, I think it's Bell. She told me how to pronounce it, and now when people go out of their way to tell me how to pronounce their name or something, I always get super, super self-conscious about whether or not I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think it's supposed to be Beals? No, like Bales? No, she's going to correct me I think she listens to these. I don't know. But she made a really good point where she's like, with it being a dark background, it does make it seem a little bit more creepy, as if he's like coming into focus as I draw him, which is really cool. I knew I wanted some dramatic shading with this, but I didn't know how far I wanted to take it. Something really cool about this particular piece, well, it's probably not as finished as I would like it to be, but I've been under such time crunches, and I definitely wanted Creepypasta Month to actually have creepypastas instead of work-related things. I did have someone actually comment recently about they unsubscribed because I've been doing so much stuff about other YouTube channels. And while the co-optional podcast commentary, or not commentary, but the That Watch Me Draw was for me, I've been really into them. I really enjoy the art style of it, and I wanted to tackle it. With Markiplier, it was mostly because you guys requested Markiplier, and I wanted to please you guys. The Omama stuff and Gaming Awesome is definitely because of freelance stuff, and it's one of those things where I could either give you guys a watch me draw that's based off the commissions I'm working on, or I can just not upload something. And I like to think that most of you guys prefer, even if it is not the most fun thing ever, it's another Yo Mama piece, or it's someone, it's commissions for someone else. I think you guys could appreciate that more than just me just kind of, not posting anything. I'm definitely going to try and make a much stronger effort of not having commissions be watch me draws. There might be one or two here and there, but I'm going to try. Like, there's definitely some fun stuff that I have in store that I really want to do. It's just, I want to give you guys the appropriate amount of time so you guys can really enjoy it. Though the beauty of creepypastas are they can be done pretty quick. Most of it's darkened, so I can be kind of loose with some of the. I don't know if I'm speaking English. I think there was a part where I kind of. But there's definitely a easier curve with creepypastas. I think a lot of you guys like the more realistic painted look, which is great, but it's also because of the fact that it's it's black. There's a lot of dark details that get taken away. The funny thing is, while I'm recording this thing about creepypastas, which inherently are kind of creepy, my door was creaked and my roommate came home and it kind of just opened a little bit, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit. So yay! I did get a couple of complaints of there better not be jump stairs. Well, there is definitely a stair. A lot of people wanted to make sure there was no jump scares in these, or they were half expecting it. But I'm definitely a one-time, one deal. I'm probably not going to do that. And now that I said that, if I do it, you don't know if I will or not. It'll be when you're least expecting it. I probably won't. Too many angry letters. Speaking of fan responses, I've been getting a lot of really good feedback from you guys. Just in general, people wanting to make sure that I know that they appreciate me. And that's really cool. I probably should actually talk about the piece now, since this is a commentary for the drawing instead of me going on tangents. So with this one, I didn't know how much texture I wanted to do this. I knew I wanted this to kind of look like one of those grotesque Ren and Stimpy SpongeBob gags where things are a little bit closer and it's not moving and it's painted and it's a little grosser than what you expect. Because when you have a cartoon character at normal zoom default, it tends to be really smooth and you don't really expect it to be this grossness. But then when you zoom in, it's Squidward looks like he wouldn't be that fun to touch. And here we go, adding the blood, because what's a creepypasta without it bleeding blood through its eyes? I trying to make sure I didn't go too overboard with this one, I really enjoyed that eye and how it came out, though if you zoom in, it's definitely not as clean as it looks from far away like right now. But that's kind of the beauty of, by the way, if you ever do artwork, guys, you definitely want to always zoom, or you want to do your work bigger and then scale down, because a lot of those details will get kind of compressed with the pixels. So right now, the eyes look pretty good from the zoom out speed that we are. But if I went into it, it's really messy looking, and it definitely needs to be tightened up. If I gave myself 2 more hours, this piece would probably look drastically different. Most of the stuff would be there, but there would definitely be more tightened up. Here I go. Okay, so I do get an occasional comment or two saying that, Steven, you're cheating. You're using a digital thing. And apparently this does not count as drawing, because even though I draw with a pen on a Cintiq, which is a screen, that is not drawing to someone, because drawing to that commenter is exclusively a pencil and paper. I apologize, guys, if you can hear background noises at this point. Like I said, the roommate just got home, and I don't know how well this mic picks up things. And so I kind of copy and pasted it, and that's definitely one of those... while there is benefits to doing things digitally, I don't think it should I don't think that should discredit it, because there's definitely shortcuts with it. But it's saying that, oh well, that's not drawing because you use a smudge pull, one of those little white things that you can smudge and clear. It's one of those things where I think people are just I don't want to say they're jealous, because I think that's very ignorant, arrogant. I think it's kind of lame to say, but I think sometimes it's just oh wow, they can create this thing, I need to take them down a notch, But yeah, so I didn't know how far I wanted to make the textures. I think I got a good happy medium. Again, I'm not far away, how we're zoomed in, I'm pretty happy with it. But if you look at it any closer than 800 pixels by 800 pixels, it's this piece is not that great. Though I think I captured the perfect kind of creepy stare. It does very there's some kind of patheticness to him, but there's always been a patheticness to Squidward. And so I feel like I'm grounded. I'm going to switch over to talking about Happy Appy, even though it's not there yet. Mostly because, again, I actually had more, even though this was based off SpongeBob and how people love SpongeBob, I actually had more fun with the Happy Appy creepypasta than I did with Squidward Suicide. And with funny thing is, I didn't intentionally mean for this to happen, but Happy Appy is also a Nickelodeon creepypasta, sorta. Basically, with Happy Appy, it's about a guy, a blogger going through, and he found a DVD of a old Nickelodeon Nick Jr. Noggin show, and it's kind of like Barney, but instead of a giant purple dinosaur, it is a puppet of a a apple. It's kind of dumb. I got quite. These were both highly requested within the thing, as well as the rake, lost silver, cupcakes, and a few others. And most likely those are going to be done. Not to ruin the suspense of what is he going to do each week. You know, maybe I don't know. But with Happy, this was one that I was like, I looked it up and I was like, really? this is what you guys? This is the pinnacle of horror to you guys? Okay. But yeah, it's basically a puppet that murders kids that appear on a show. He would just be like, hey, come behind this bush, and then murder. But I don't really get it because clearly you can see through my drawing that it's a puppet it's an apple puppet with like Play-Doh arms and a rusty stick. Like so it's a man holding a stick. So is it the man holding the stick that's murdering people, or is it literally the puppet? You know, like. But it's on a stick, so I don't really understand this one. I don't think maybe that's why people love it. It's just ridiculously dumb, but it was just interesting. But so I almost drew this guy. If it wasn't for the fact that I was pressed for time, I would have added a little bit more to this drawing. For example, I want to add forensic. There's another character within the. Okay, so basically, so there's bloggers looking at these old episodes, and apparently this show's super violent and gory and things like that. Like at first it starts out kind of nice, and then progressively, you know, again it's this puppet taking things behind bushes and murdering them, and then apparently it predicts 9/11 and a bunch of other things. Like it starts, even though the show aired when we were kids, this guy as an adult watching it, it's predicting all these deaths like Michael Jackson and a bunch of other things, which I guess is kind of creepy. But yeah, so he's finding these tapes, and eventually he realizes that someone's been watching him, and then sets his house on fire, and he dubs this figure. He does, because we don't know if it's a man or not. He dubs it forensic, and yeah, that's basically the whole thing. I guess I didn't finish it, but again, it's a little bit ridiculous because at one point I think the puppet creature. The Happy like put some people in a truck or something. I was listening to it as I was drawing it. Like I did enough research to know, okay, I'm going to draw Happy, you know, with the death stare because it's very iconic to the story. And then at one point there was like, oh, he has a knife, and I was like, okay, I'll draw a knife. And so a commenter in the other video actually acknowledged the fact that knife is really, really small, and considering that is a puppet. So I think maybe that's even more funny is the fact that it's a knife, puppet-sized knife. But yeah, so I knew I wanted to do the death stare, and I wanted to give it a little bit more realistic look than the actual official images that are posted everywhere. I hope this actually replaces them because I think this is a little bit better. Even with the rush job being 36 minutes, I was really happy how this came out. This is one of those pieces where I was like, I don't know how this is going to come out. And so I wanted Forensics, who was, I think, a guy with a gas mask, and he's got a smiley face, though I might be confusing him with Tiki Toby, which is another one I've been doing research on. A lot of these creepypastas, I know I keep saying that they kind of overlap between each other, but yeah. Let me quickly note here that this is, I'm using the chunky chalk brush once again. It's my, I guess it's my go-to creepypasta brush. It's perfect for painting stuff, especially when you want to do things fast. It's got a nice little look to it, and yeah. So yeah, this is the thing I was worried about with these two, is that I don't really have that much to talk about besides the ridiculousness of a. This is gonna suck. Someone's gonna be like in the comments like, "This was my favorite one. I thought this was funny. I couldn't sleep for 3 days," or "I thought this was really scary." And I'm just like, I just shed on it. I'm sorry. I do know that like out of all the things in this, the part of this that I was scared of the most, or not scared of, but like I thought was going to be the most challenging, was the leaf on top of them. Like, I wasn't sure how I wanted to, picture it. The lips and mouth, got it, pretty quick. Eyes, got it, a little shine there, boom. Knife, like, I could have done a little bit better job there. The blood kind of makes it kind of disappear a little bit. And I put it as a banner recently, and, yeah, I can't even tell it's a knife. If this... can't get over it being an apple, or not, like, I can't get over the part that it's just a puppet. Like, I can understand, like, doll is like Annabelle. I saw that movie recently, and I get that premise. It's a demon that controls a doll, but at least a doll has, limbs, but this guy is the stick. And apparently this one was popular enough to get, like, 3 different sequel which I didn't bother reading because I could get done with the first one. Yeah, so just I guess I'm ruining it, but the creepypastas that I'm thinking about doing is Lost Silver, The Rake, Tiki Toby, Cupcakes, Jane the Killer, and I'm trying to think here. There's a few, but those are the ones that are kind of like in the queue. Whether or not I get them done this year is to my schedule. But they're the ones that I'm looking at. They're the ones that was really requested. That and a lot more. Five Nights at Freddy's, especially with it coming out with a sequel, is really popular. Someone mentioned that they wanted to see me do Bonnie without a face, because apparently that's a new promo for it. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this kind of exclusively creepypastas, because I feel like if I do a Five Nights at Freddy piece, someone's going to yell at me. Anyways, that was the commentary. Not the most exciting thing, but after having 3 or 4 comments ask me, where's the commentary, I knew I had to deliver. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next week with some more creepypastas.